What is going on, YouTube? This is your boy Reddy, and I'm back with another one of those videos. And today we are going to be talking about something that is really important, and it's actually coming out really soon. Now, for those of you who have been following the news lately and who do not live on a rock, iPhone has released its iPhone 6 device. And, of course, people have been flocking to the store to go and get that in droves. But if you don't know, there's going to be another new device coming out in the next day, by the time this video comes out. And that is the BlackBerry Passport. Now, with all the new devices that are coming out for BlackBerry, they're going to be releasing their the newest iteration of the OS, which is BlackBerry 10.3. Today I have a build version of BlackBerry 10.3, and I'm just going to show you some of the new and improved features that are in there. It's definitely a big improvement from 10.2, and it's a vast improvement from 10.1, and not even comparable to 10.0. So, as I said, I'm just going to go ahead and just going to show you some of the features of what's going on, and then you can make a decision whether a BlackBerry device is what you want to get. Alright, so let's just get into this. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the screen right now. As you can see, BlackBerry 10, the OS has actually received just in and of itself like a huge facelift in terms of look and feel. So if you remember the 10.2, the OS, all the icons had this black square around them, and they don't have those anymore, and the icons are actually a little smaller, and now you have kind of more icons per screen. Of course, the bigger your device, the more icons you're going to have. For the actual Q10, which is what I'm running now, the screen actually has another column of icons, which is pretty cool. Overall, the OS is pretty responsive. I must say it's pretty good. I like it, and I really have no complaints about it so far. This is actually not a full build of the OS, but it's pretty good. Like, I haven't really had any kind of issues with it or anything. This is not the actual finished version of what 10.3 is going to look like, but I mean, this definitely gives you a good idea of how it looks and feels. One of the big things to say about BlackBerry 10.3 is that it actually comes preloaded with the Amazon Appstore, which you see right here. So, as most people should know, with the BlackBerry devices, the BlackBerry 10 devices now, they're actually able to run Android apps. And right here I actually have an Angry Birds game that I downloaded from the Amazon App Store, and it's loading up right now, and it's running pretty smoothly. I'm not really a big gamer when it comes to the phones and all that, but I mean, definitely, as you can see, it's here and it's looking good, and it's running pretty smooth, and I actually have no idea what I'm doing as far as this is concerned. But yeah, it's good to see that it actually runs Android apps, and now with the App Store pre-installed, I mean, it's making it that much easier. So I'm not really going to go into playing this game. It's going to take a little while to get there, but as you can see, it's playing alright. And as I said, this is an Android app. It runs smoothly, don't have any issues with it, so that's cool. Alright, so let's move on. Another thing in terms of look and feel, as you can see, right now, they've also, in the active pages screen, they've allowed you to have more applications actually running, which is pretty awesome. For the Q10, I think 8 is the limit on active frames you could, or apps. I don't know if this the apps that you can have run on the actual frames that it shows, but this is more than there was before. And I guess, and I think for the bigger devices, you're gonna have more as well. But one of the cool things that they've actually done on 10.3 is they've actually turned this app screen. I'm gonna shut these all down. They've turned this actual app screen into a home screen now. So you actually can now use this screen if you want to just view your background, anything like that. You can now just have this screen right here. Move it over. Now you got the blank screen. You can enjoy a picture. I have a picture here of back home in Bermuda, like just approaching on the flight. So I mean, that's pretty cool that they actually allowed you to do this. I think this is one of those features that users really wanted, like BlackBerry users really wanted, and they came through. Now from here as well, let's just take a look at the actual hub, which is, I think they've also made some good improvements here as well. Now basically any email or whatever that you received, or any text, anything like that, now within the hub, they've improved the look of the hub, so you actually have the ability to mark these as read or unread without actually opening them. And as well, as soon as you open them, now you have the option to save these, or like right here you have the option to actually reply, or you have the option to even delete it if you want to. Now before, the original hub and even the hub before this didn't allow you to do that. So I think this is really awesome, and it's really useful in terms of for the BlackBerry hub, making this even more powerful than it already is. Of course, things like priority hub and such that were there before, all that functionality is still there. You still have the option to come in and, you know, view your text messages and BBM messages and all that sort of thing, and as well as your email accounts and all that. And you could basically still do everything that you're able to do before with the hub, but now they've made it a lot easier for you. Also, within any native app, they've introduced this key here where it's kind of like on the action bar, it's like the whatever the most, I guess, common function there is that you have, you're actually able to, they've created a button for like the most common function. So let's say inside your BlackBerry hub, you're always going to be writing emails and text messages and that sort of thing. So they make the compose button the actual active button. I'm not really too sure what this button is called, but for most natives app, they have this button here. So you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do when you press the button. So, and just to show you, let's just go ahead and let's go to another app. Let's say your contacts, and here you go again. It shows up one more time. This time it's actually pointing to search. And one more. Let's look at your calendar. Inside the calendar, now your button is add. So it's pretty cool. It's contextual, depends on whatever app you're in. The most commonly used feature is actually going to show up here, and I'm pretty sure that you can customize it, change it to whatever you want. I'm not really too sure, and I probably wouldn't do that anyway, but there you go. That's a big difference from this and 10.2. So another option, or another feature that you weren't able to do before, is the ability to actually pull down your settings tree within any app that you were in. Before BlackBerry 10.2, you had to be kind of out, you know, where your icons are, or basically out in your, you know, active frames window to actually pull down your settings for your device. But now they've actually made it so one finger will pull down your menu for the actual screen, which will include like things like your settings and that sort of thing. And two fingers will actually pull down the menu. So that's a pretty useful feature right there as well. If there's something that you want to access from the settings while you're in an app, you can go ahead now and do it anywhere, pretty much anywhere. All right. The next feature I want to show you is the camera. Now, the camera for the most part is pretty much the same, except for the fact now that you don't actually touch the screen to take a picture. They actually have a dedicated picture button. Not too sure how to feel about that. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is what it is, you know. I preferred being able to touch the screen, but I'm not really too much complaining about that. One of the cool features that I want to show you inside here is they've actually included a panorama setting for taking pictures. Now, how this actually works is you go ahead. Actually, I'll leave it down. So you go ahead and you take your first picture, right? And now, in order to do these panorama shots, you line up these boxes. That one kind of went off the screen. But you line up these boxes and then hit the check mark when you're done. And once it's processed, it actually creates the panorama image for you. Now, I did this somewhere else. I mean, obviously this isn't really like a good image to show you guys. I actually did it when sitting in my car, and I'll bring up that picture now. But for what it's worth, it works fairly well, and that's pretty cool. So definitely, it's a useful feature. I mean, one that I would have wished I had when I was in my previous line of work, and involved taking pictures of offices and that sort of thing, and where I had to fight to by hand guesstimate to do these panorama images. Like in this case, I could just pull out my phone, line up the boxes, spun around in a circle, and taken all the pictures that I needed. So now let's go to the music app. So right now I'm actually a DJ. People probably don't know that, but I've said it a couple times. And like for me, most of the music that I have are mixes that I made. And the music app it's been kind of revamped a bit as well. I like the way it sorts everything by top played. It sorts things by top played, as well as in alphabetical order. Or you could just kind of view it as one big list. And again, here we go again with this commonly used key. This key basically decides whether you want to shuffle your music, or it determines exactly how the music's getting played. Now, I like how they add this little touch here where you have the transparency between the buttons, and if you want, you could actually click inside of the transparency, and it brings up the music. So that's good. Now, the last thing that I want to show you guys in terms of what's new on BlackBerry 10.3 is the BlackBerry Assistant. Now, this is a feature that was really what's kind of been touted in the news when it was first mentioned that they were going to actually have this feature. Honestly, for me, I think this feature is kind of gimmicky. It's nothing that I would ever use. But with the rise of Siri and those kind of things, rival companies want to kind of produce their own product that will be as good as or better than Siri if they could do that. So this is their answer to that. Now, if people don't know, voice assistants has actually been around for a while now in BlackBerry. This is nothing new, but it was never that good. So they came out with a new and improved version for 10.3. I try to do a couple things, and it seems to work pretty good. I like that the voice recognition is fairly clear, and as well, it does what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? So. Let's just do a check here. I'm gonna say I want to check my Hotmail. All right, so let me just pick this up, and I'm gonna hit this button here. Check Hotmail. All right, so it comes up with check Hotmail.
You have at least 25 emails from your Hotmail account. You can hear the messages, or you can narrow results by specifying the sender.
And there you go. All right, so you saw. Sorry, my camera kind of cut off just now, but you saw just now the assistant in action for checking your mail. Now let's just do another one. Let's give it another try, and this time we're gonna ask about the BlackBerry passport. So here we go. I'm gonna just start the recording, and then I'm gonna pick up the phone and see what I have to say and put it back down. Oops. When is the BlackBerry passport getting released? Look at that. Recognize exactly what I said. And now it's doing a search for it.
Searching the internet for when is the BlackBerry passport getting released.
And there we go. And it brings up the Google search for basically the phrase that I said. And I think it's pretty awesome how the actual the actual word recognition is really good as well. So that's awesome too. So it picked up the exact phrase that I said, then went to the internet, did a Google search on it, and it's provided me with results. So let's do one more thing. This time, let's do some music. So let's go ahead and let's do some music. Play music. Play music.
Shuffling and playing your music.
And there you go. And if you can't hear it, it's actually playing the music. I like my regular music. I like these mixes. So there you go. So that's pretty much the BlackBerry Assistant in a nutshell. As you can see, I think it works really well. I honestly can't compare it to anything else because I've never really used anything else. I've never used Siri or anything like that. So I can't tell you how good it is compared to the competition. But if this is what you're into as far as voice recognition is concerned, by all means, I think that it works really well, and it does what it's supposed to do really well. So all in all, I've been using this is like a elite build of the OS, and I've been using this now for roughly about a month or so, and honestly, I am really happy with it. I'm really happy. It's pretty snappy. It performs well. I haven't really seen too many bugs or issues with it, but I'm sure there's a lot. Yeah, it launches apps really fast, and I just don't have any real issues with it like whatsoever. Of course, I guess the only real drawback with this is the fact that because this is a BlackBerry, um, you're still going to be missing out on that native app experience. That's always going to be a huge problem, I guess, if you're going to get a BlackBerry. Although the App Store does make up for it, if you want to use an Android app that requires Google Play services, you're still going to have issues as far as that's concerned. But with the Amazon App Store, you should still have a lot of access to those big name apps that you want. I'm sure like Netflix and Instagram, all those kind of things are on there for you to install in your device and use. I definitely give BlackBerry 10.3 OS a thumbs up, and I'm looking forward to see how it actually works on one of those new devices. The Passport is going to have beefed up specs, a lot better than this Q10 that they have running right now. So seeing those two run in combination, final version of the build, I'm expecting big things. Alright, so when I get the Passport, as I said, I'm going to make another video, just give my thoughts on it. I'm trying to be an early adopter as far as that's concerned. I don't know if that's going to happen, because, hey, my money's tight. But in the meantime, that's the deal. BlackBerry 10.3. I want you guys to leave your comments below. How do you feel about it? Are you excited about it? Do you think it sucks? You know? That's pretty much it for me. As usual, giving a shout out to Crackberry. This is your #1 source for any kind of BlackBerry news. I'm not getting paid anything to advertise it, but hands down, if you are a BlackBerry fan, if you want to know what's going on with BlackBerry, this is the place that you need to go to. Make sure you check out Crackberry. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm looking forward to hear what you guys think about BlackBerry 10.3 and then the new BlackBerries that are actually coming out, the Passport and the Classic, and to a lesser extent, the new Porsche design 9983. That's about it for me. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Have a great day, and I'll be hollering at you later.